Hey guys, what's up? It's Yana. Welcome to day 30 of Camp NaNoWriMo, July 2023. I'm just back from our Good Omens Season 2 watch party. It's very late at night and I had such a busy day. I had classes in the morning, then I had to go shop and prepare some food for the party, even though I didn't technically have to, but I like putting a little bit of effort into that sort of thing. And because last time we got together to watch the first season, I made some deviled eggs and some angel food cake, so it kind of felt like it was tradition. I didn't have time to bake a cake today, but I had to go and buy some from the store, and I still wanted to at least decorate it myself, so I did some stuff with fondant and like just food coloring very quickly in like 5 minutes because I was running late for my pole class. So it's been really busy. Thank God I managed to do some editing in the morning, so at least that was done, but none of the other things are done. I'm literally going to have to do everything now in the middle of the night. And also I ate so much food that I shouldn't have eaten, because we had the deviled eggs, we had 2 cakes and a pie, and we also had angel hair pasta. Just so much food, so much food. But with that said, my topic for today is adaptations and pleasing the fandom and pleasing the shippers, because Good Omens is like a very prominent case in that kind of area. And most people love the Good Omens adaptation, and I don't hate it. I'm a massive fan of the book, and I think that the Amazon series did some things really nicely, but I think it committed some cardinal sins which I can't forgive it, and which is preventing me from like being an actual real fan of the series. I still really enjoy it, I still watch it, but in order to enjoy it, I have to think of it as something completely divorced from the source material. And it's interesting how tiny little details can make you feel like that, because I mean there were some big things as well. The entire ending was just completely botched in my opinion, but never mind. The little things that bug me the most have to do with the characterization of Crowley, which is so wrong because it goes from... See, the thing is, if you don't know, Good Omens is a novel written by Neil Gaiman and the late Terry Pratchett, who were great friends in real life. The book is fantastic. I'm very happy that they collaborated in it, and also the original idea belonged to Neil Gaiman. But the thing is, out of the two of them, and you can argue with me on that, you know, it's people have their preferences, but as far as I'm concerned, out of the two of them, Terry Pratchett was the far superior writer, and we were very unfortunate to lose him at a relatively, you know, young age, because he died of Alzheimer's, and which meant that while this series was being created, Neil Gaiman was involved, but Terry couldn't be involved anymore. And I certainly think that the weaknesses of the series come from the fact that we're getting more Neil Gaiman and there's no longer any input from Terry Pratchett, because the problem is that Neil Gaiman isn't very subtle. Terry Pratchett it's very subtle and extremely clever in his writing, and especially in his characterization. And Neil Gaiman is a little bit more... He has a sense of humor, he has ideas, he's done a lot of good stuff, but it's a bit more surface level. And you can very clearly see this in the character of Crowley, who from this very kind of more nuanced and complex character has basically become like a very typical bad boy, and there are certain little details that the original character as written by Pratchett, because it was mostly Terry Pratchett writing Zerval and Crowley in the book, that's just not the same character anymore. The way that he behaves, he was never meant to be a bad boy. There's no redemption arc, there's no need for a redemption arc, because the whole point of the entire original book is that he was never bad to begin with. He doesn't really like behave like a demon. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. And in the series, we've done the far more cliche thing where he's like, yeah, he's good, but he's like a bad boy, and he's sometimes mean, and he's just little things like that that the original character would never say or would never do. Yeah, anyway, that was a massive rant on that. And the other kind of significant, not necessarily change, but expansion on the source material is that these two characters are now romantically involved, which that's a hard one to comment on, because I'm all for representation, and I'm an absolute massive sucker for a cute gay couple. Like, that's usually the couples that I gravitate towards. Like, I'm currently completely obsessed with Brimsley and Reynolds from the Queen Charlotte series. So this is genuinely not me not wanting gay couples. I just think that these two worked better as friends. But not only is the relationship now made very explicitly romantic, but we are leaning very heavily into it, and it reads so much. Oh, and I shipped it. Like, I definitely shipped Azrael and Crowley in fan fiction, but I think there's a very big difference between shipping something in fan fiction and wanting it to be canonized. And now it's essentially canonized because it's come from Neil Gaiman. He's written it. He has basically said yes. And it just begs the question, to what extent, where's the line between wanting to please the fans and wanting to please the shippers? Because sometimes that can be really nice, just like anybody. I've had moments where my ship has been confirmed, and it's been this great moment of triumph, because you want to see like your dreams and your fantasies for these characters realized. But in this case, I just think it makes the writing shallower and worse. And again, we're leaning so heavily into this shipping, and everything is, there's no subtext, everything is text. That was my friend's comment, whom I watched it with. It's like, there's just, everything is text, no subtext. And the story is oversimplified, the characters are oversimplified. So that's definitely something to think about. It tends to happen a lot in sequels as well, because you've had one original idea, and then by the time you get to a sequel, a lot of the initial conflict has been resolved, and then you're looking for things to do in the sequel, because these characters, have had some growth, so they don't have the same issues anymore. So what do you do now? And it's this sort of thing where it's just you start leaning on fan fiction tropes, and that's happened to me as well. I've written stuff like that, but it's just, it doesn't make it necessarily good. But by which I don't mean that the second season is not enjoyable. It is. But again, for me at least, I have to completely divorce it from the original book, and it's just made me kind of more aware of things like that in my own writing, and just trying to avoid that, because there's this great feeling of giving the people what they want, but is it always the best decision for the text, for the material, for the story? Anyway, I don't necessarily have answers on when it's a good idea to do that and when it isn't. I think if I were Neil Gaiman, I probably would have done the exact same thing, because A, it's gonna make me money, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We as writers need to earn money as well. I do not blame anybody for doing that. And B, it's making people happy. It's bringing more people into the fandom. Terry Pratchett probably would have been happy that this is so popular. I don't know if he would have agreed with the decisions made, but maybe he would have. Who am I to tell? I mean, I didn't know him, Neil Gaiman did. So this is not throwing shade on the series, this is just one audience member's opinion, but I think if I were ever in the situation and I had anything of mine filmed that I then decided to kind of continue, I would try to steer clear of really using very obvious kind of fanfiction tropes. Anyway, now what I have to do is I have to go and do all the things that I didn't do, which is everything apart from the editing. And it's gonna be so late and I'm gonna be so tired, but it has to happen. So thank you very much for watching this rant about Good Omens, and I will see you in the next video, the last video of this month's vlogs, which is tomorrow. Bye!